Hi,
My name is Tracy,
and my name is Lynn.
and together we
are
are Bollocks and Ball. We like to chat
And boy, can we chat.
about the bollocks and ball.
Mainly in our heads, but also about life in general. After all, it's good to talk. And here we go.
Hello, hello. To be sure. Oh, sorry, Izzy. The dog's going to join in today. We have a dog in the room.
We do, bless her.
A noisy dog.
Aren't you? You are a noisy dog, aren't you? Hey,
Bless her.
you like to have your say about everything, don't you?
She's an old girl.
She is.
Join the club.
Yeah. I tell you, bloody feeling it this week.
It is a bit this week, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can feel it in my joints this week.
I don't know. I reckon it's the planetary thing because
Oh, do you?
we're in the group, so our Facebook group. There was a thumbs up Thursday.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, "Oh, it's a good job I've not murdered anybody this week." I'm giving myself credit for not murdering anybody, and I'm thinking it's clearly one of those weeks this week.
It is, isn't it? Yeah, it's
I'm not
funny.
gonna lie. I felt that little bit like.
Well, we were just
On the
saying
edge.
as well, like we haven't slept properly, have we? And
No.
all this sort of stuff. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well, it's not funny, but it's
No.
interesting.
It
That's
is
more the word.
interesting. Yes, I've definitely felt a little on the. I felt on the edge today. Random. So I had to go to Next today to pick up some stuff that I'd ordered online. Grandson's pushchair, 20, and I'm not exaggerating. This is not a story I'm telling myself. 20 fucking minutes trying to put his bloody pushchair down. I couldn't do it. I was getting so angry.
No.
So stressed out. In the end, I had to fold half the car seat down in the back. So he was in one half. I just lobbed the fucking pushchair in the back of the car, slammed the boot down.
Mad woman in the car park alert.
Oh my God, it was. And then by that time, he's hungry, screamed all the way home. Bearing in mind, we're talking 25 minutes from Bridgie. Honestly, screamed all the way home. By the time I got home, I was nearly having a nervous breakdown because it's horrible listening to him scream because I can do sod all about it.
Oh, bless.
Oh, yeah. I was just like, oh my God. Just like,
I'd just like to put it out there, folks. I'm sat in the same room. If you don't hear from me for a few days, she might have packaged me into the back garden. Just put it out there, all right? 'Cause
Oh,
I think we're in murder mood.
I could do that. You're having your patio done. I could
Yeah,
stick.
bugger off.
I could stick you underneath your patio.
Yeah, my patio's for other people under the patio, not me.
Oh, we've got people lined up for that.
Well, never know. I've bought me endangered plants just in case.
So they can't dig it back
I
up.
won't dig it up then, see. That's what you plant on top. I got it all in order.
I love it. Right, do you reckon many people bury people underneath the patios? A random question, but
I don't really know. Typically, would be the first place people would look, wouldn't it? Really?
well, yeah, I suppose so. Since Brookside, when they buried somebody under the patio of Brookside, I think that's where the idea came from, didn't it?
That's where the idea of patios came from originally.
Or to bury people under.
Yeah, the best way to.
Don't certainly mob families do that? Them like bury them in foundation and
Probably.
it's like concrete. What is it? I can't remember.
Yeah. Give them cement feet.
Yeah, concrete burials.
Yeah.
God, here we go.
10 probably I don't know, 10 top tips on how to.
Do you think we could get away with that? 10 top tips is how to murder your other half.
I ain't got that problem.
No, you should have done that before.
Oh, dear. Anyway, what are we doing on here today? Talking a load of bollocks.
I think that's where we are today. That's what we were going to talk about, bollocks. The bollocks we tell ourselves, and look at the piece we just spent the last 5 minutes talking
Talking a
completely.
load of bollocks.
Completely. I think that's all we ever do, isn't it? To be fair.
Oh, sorry, slurping my tea now. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, we do actually tell ourselves a load of bollocks, don't we?
Oh, I think so. A lot of the time.
Yeah, it's really interesting when you sit and really think about it. I don't think it's something we like doing. We don't like sitting and thinking about what you actually say.
No.
Especially what you actually say to yourself. It's quite scary, really.
I think you're right. I don't think anybody really wants to admit that they tell stories.
Oh, not at all.
And it's funny you were saying that, because we've been doing it. I was just like, I had to sit and think about things, and for one, I know I'm an exaggerator. You know, I like to definitely add a little bit on for effect.
Have a little bit of a drama, aren't you? I like a little bit of the shock factor. I like that bit. So you've got to build it up.
Yeah.
And I know in the past I've been a bit of a bugger for what I call telling stories backwards.
Oh, okay.
So you sort of tell it. You don't just go, "Oh, this happened," because then that's like the punchline, isn't it? So you go, "Oh, well, this happened." So you tell it right from like the start. I always say backwards. I don't know why it's not backwards, but it's like whereas when you're talking to other people, and I don't know about you, if you sat listening, you just think, "You'll get to the point then."
Yeah.
You get to the point, why don't you? Sat there thinking, like, just fucking get to the point. But I'm the worst for that. Oh, well, you won't believe this. This happened and this happened. But you build it right up, don't you, until you get to this. Like,
yeah, that whole crescendo, isn't it, of that end bit?
Yeah, everybody's bloody asleep by then. So it's funny, you can't just go, "Oh, hell, this happened."
No.
It's like, "Oh, no, that's not big enough."
No. Yeah, you need to build that up, don't you, for like effect, or
absolutely
to make yourself feel better, because, you know, it's probably not as dramatic as you would like to have been.
No. That's all it is, isn't it? Baseline is, it's because you want to make yourself feel better, or or feel a need.
But it is, isn't it?
A bit of an ego thing, or a bit of significance, or
I don't know whether we're inbuilt, program conditioned, whether it's just in us naturally. But I think everybody likes that little bit of drama, don't they?
Yeah.
I think people feed off each other with that.
Oh,
so that the more you elaborate that story that you're going to say, it feels more dramatic, doesn't it?
And even the people who go, "Oh, bloody drama queen," or whatever, there's still there's still something there that they want that drama as well.
Yeah.
And I don't think people don't like to admit that either.
No.
That you go, "Oh yeah, they're a bit of a drama queen, aren't they?" Whereas actually, you're a bit of a drama queen yourself.
But I think
but we'd never admit that.
No, I don't think, like you say, I don't think anybody would generally readily admit that they've got a drama queen in them, have they?
No, absolutely not.
But we all like that little bit of drama, that bit of elaboration.
And you say about it being built in. Well, in a sense, it is built in, isn't it? Because that's part of our needs.
Yeah,
our need
true.
For like connection, our need for like significance. That, in a way, is part of what we get from that little bit of exaggeration.
Yeah, so it is, isn't it? It is inbuilt, because it's fulfilling that little bit of a need in us.
Yeah.
But we don't see that, do we? And nobody's usually readily open to admitting that that's the case.
No, and I did a post this week, and while I was doing it, I thought, God, that really made me think, because I put in it about, we say, "Oh, I always do that."
Yeah.
And you don't ever think of that word, always.
No.
But actually, it's like, do I actually always do that? Or do I just sometimes do that? Or have I only ever done that once, really? But we go, the biggest thing, isn't it? Oh, well, it always happens to me. Well, actually, just stop. Well, always? But we never do that, do we?
No.
We never actually think of just that one word, how it just changes everything, and actually
It's massive.
it's a massive exaggeration, and
It
we
is.
and we do all do it.
We do though, don't we? We, like you say. I was going to say we always do. That was the first thing that popped into my head. Was always. But like you said, it's a natural thing to do.
Yeah. Well, is it natural,
Well, no.
or like you said just now, or is it something that we've seen, we're programmed to, because that's what everybody tends to do. So that's what we've always seen and heard.
Yeah.
So then we take that on board and do it ourselves.
Yeah, this is it. It's like you say, from a youngster, you will have heard grown-ups, big people say, I always do that, or I always do this, or this always happens.
And also from that, you see the audience going, oh, yeah, and people will put their hand out on them and connect to them. So you think, I'm doing that because that's good. That feels nice.
Yeah.
And
yeah, because you get that connection, you get that significance from somebody giving you that attention or that sympathy or whatever it is that happens from that story.
Yeah. But it's not until you really sort of sit and think about it. Because if I said, oh, you exaggerate, you'd probably go, no, I don't.
Yeah.
Because none of us think we do.
No.
But go right back to, just like I said, those few words that you put in. Like, I always do that. Yeah, do you actually? So it's really good if you can try and stop yourself. And it's quite funny, like you did then. You suddenly, I was going to say always then.
Yeah.
When you suddenly start realising that language that you use and like, oh my God. So then think back to what we tell ourselves.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
This is it, isn't it?
And what we're telling other people by what we're saying. And like we've just said, you know, as kids, we do that, because we see that as kids, we see how people exaggerate it and what comes from exaggerating it. So we think, oh yeah, that's good. So that's programming.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating.
It is fascinating, like you say, and being that truthful with yourself. Do you know?
Oh yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, it is, because it is hard for you to look at and go, do I do that? And like you say, the past couple of weeks I've been doing that, and I think I do. You know, I add an extra 10 minutes onto if I give you a time frame, I've generally added on something.
Well, don't we go, oh, that took me hours. Oh, did it?
It's probably taking you less than half an hour.
Probably took 10 minutes.
It just feels like hours.
Oh, it took me hours.
But with the opposite of that, isn't it? And I think that we all do it. And I think people are even less likely to admit this, is that you admit bits that you don't want anybody to know when you tell a story.
Oh, yeah.
You miss out certain aspects of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're always going to be the good guy, never the baddie, are you?
Exactly, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're the funniest ones. We've all done that.
Oh, yeah, everybody. There can't be anybody.
And that's not an exaggeration when you say we've all done that.
You have to. Do you know? Well, it's like you start that as a kid, don't you? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It just fell off. Did it really?
Yeah, kids are good at it, aren't they?
Did it really just fall off by itself?
It just broke.
I don't know how it happened. It's got nothing to do with the football you were kicking in my front room, was it?
No, absolutely not.
It just fell off.
Missed that bit out. Absolutely missed that bit out. Oh, it's so funny.
But we do, don't we? Because I think, again, you admit that, you admit that part of the story, because then you're not trying to get into trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny, really, isn't it? How young actually kids can really manipulate their language.
Yes.
To be honest, isn't it?
Yeah, you think that? I think that starts quite small as kids, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I always remember my daughter wrote her name on our new cream leather sofa in biro. It's like, who did this? She went, I didn't. And she was only, I think she was only little. I mean, she's only just writing her name, so she was only little. So funny. Yeah, but no, it wasn't her. So straight away, she did not know. I didn't do that. It's like, I think you might have done because it's your name.
This is it, isn't it?
But she knew immediately that she had to deny that. She just didn't realise she'd written her own name.
That concept of that you're going to get caught out because it's actually your name that you've written.
Yeah. And then she drew me again in biro. This child had a biro fetish. Drew this beautiful
knocking away the biros.
Because she used to sit under the dining room table. So on the wall, she drew an amazing family portrait. And we had this conversation recently that she said she couldn't understand why I was so upset that she'd drawn such a beautiful picture. But she was honest about that. And she wasn't hiding it, it's just she used to sit under the dining room table a lot. So yeah, so there was this blank canvas, wasn't there, to draw this wonderful picture. But she said she'd never understood to this day, she's now in her 20s, why I was so upset. She'd drawn this beautiful family picture.
In biro on your nice white wall.
On the cream wall. Or the magnolia, wasn't it? Yeah, bless, brilliant.
So it's funny, isn't it, how they learn that from such a young age?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that can't be anything else but programming, can it?
It's got to be, hasn't it?
They must see their caregivers.
Yeah, they say children learn more from seeing rather than, and the problem is with us adults and parents and things, we tend to go, don't do that, and 9 times out of 10 we say don't do that with things we do.
Yeah, that's the trouble. So that gives that mixed message, doesn't it?
Yeah. 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 Get off your phone. You spend too much on your phone while you're looking at your phone.
Yeah, this is it, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, they do say, don't they? They learn more from seeing rather than saying.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But it's just interesting how they do that storytelling. Mind you saying that, they can tell stories from like a really young age.
Oh, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I love kids' stories.
I remember my brother telling when he must have been, he was at like play school age, so he hadn't quite started school, and they came home. My mum picked him up, and then like the person was like, oh, I'm sorry to hear about your husband, and she was like, what? She's like, I'm sorry to hear about your husband. She said, what's wrong with my husband? She said, well, apparently he broke his leg and he got rescued by a helicopter. She went, no. He regaled this whole story about there'd been an accident and my dad had broken his leg and they had to rescue him by helicopter. And also, not battered an eyelid. Regaled this whole story. Not a word of it was true.
It's brilliant though, but in his head
it was true. Explains a lot, really, to be honest. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, but it's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's the part of, because I know I had a really vivid imagination, and I think, even though I don't remember it all, I think that's the part I love when I think back and think, oh, I wish I could regain all that.
Just vivid imagination.
Just that whole vivid journey you have in your head as a kid, and you go on this adventure.
And maybe that's what it is. Maybe at that age, what it is, it's just your imagination and all the things that you can see or would like to be. And maybe you are subconsciously picking up things around you, aren't you? And you just create that story from it.
Well, we always say, don't we? And it's a fact that the brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not. So, because the conscious doesn't really develop, does it? Till we're about 6, I think.
Something like that, isn't it? Yeah.
So the subconscious for all those years to begin with is in control.
Yeah.
So we are building all those stories.
Yeah.
And so maybe we don't know the difference. It's a story that an adventure we have in our head, and that's true. And because I think as kids we almost like vividly see it in our heads, we think that's true.
Yeah. This is it, isn't it? And I think all like little kids come out with all sorts of stories, don't they?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, my mum said we had visitors once who were like friends of my dad's, and they had 2 boys. I think one was a year younger than me and one was a year older than me, and we had like quite a big garden, and my garden was like, that was my garden, and I didn't really like other kids. So these kids came because I can't remember how old I was. I think it was about 8 or 9, I think. 8, 9, 10, something like that. So, like you're left, right, you play together. I hated that as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, what adult? Like, you play together. I don't want to play with other kids. I don't like kids. I don't like other kids. I mean, I never liked going to school or anything. So to play with other kids. And then my mum got a phone call saying my sons haven't slept for 2 days, 2 nights.
What did you tell them?
Well, because I have this big black cat that lives in my garden, doesn't it? And it's my cat. And you're in my garden. This big black cat will do horrible things to you.
Oh my giddy aunt.
Yeah.
That's just reminding of something my youngest did. So, around a friend and her son and her youngest and my youngest were roughly the same age. And this person had cats, and my youngest told her youngest that my husband would go round and shoot cats because he didn't like them.
No. Oh, I bet that went down well.
I was like, he wouldn't do that. But yeah, he told them that, my husband would go around and shoot the cats. Nice child.
See, I think in my way, it was just my way of reincarnating myself to get them out of my garden because I didn't want them in my garden. So that was what I would have done if I was the cat. Maybe that's it. Maybe you find a way. Because you, as a child, it's really hard, I think, sometimes to say what you like and dislike, innit? And big people don't listen to you.
But that's the key. I think you've just hit the nail on the head. Big people don't listen to kids.
No.
They just don't.
I didn't want to be around other kids. I didn't like it. I used to lock myself in the car in the mornings. I didn't want to go into school. And it came in the end where they had to get all through my primary school. They had to keep me in at playtimes to like near the end. And once I was kept in at playtimes, I was happy as Larry because I didn't have to play with the other children because I didn't want to because I didn't like us. Let me feed the rabbit. They could get me out the car. My mum, and I can remember it to this day. My mum would drive me to school. I mean, it was like 500 yards, right, to get me there. She'd get out of the car, and as soon as she got out of the car and shut the door, because we had buttons in those days.
Oh, to lock the doors.
As soon as she got out of the car, that's it. The buttons were down. I'm like, dum dum dum. But like, listen to me. I don't want to go to school because I don't like the other children.
But like you say, big people don't listen to kids.
No, they don't. Yeah, don't be silly.
Yeah.
Just get in there. Don't be silly. No, my mum never did that. Didn't boot me. I should imagine she wanted to do that every morning. I would have, if I was my child, I would have booted me.
Oh, this is it, isn't it?
No, big people don't listen.
No, they don't. They don't.
It's like when something happens, isn't it, as a child, and it can be the simplest little thing. Sorry, shut the dog up. And you're devastated. Your whole world has collapsed because the legs fell off your, I don't know, your action man or something. It's like the whole world's ended, hasn't it? And grown-ups go, oh, don't be silly.
This is it, and that's it. Like you say, that's where a lot of it comes from, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're not good big people.
No, but then we didn't have good big people either, did we?
No.
And they didn't have good big people.
No, it's true.
And I think as you go back with each generation, the big people were even less better than they are now.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to be really careful with our words. Can we just kick the dog?
She doesn't mean that, by the way. She probably does.
No, I don't. Bless her. She's just very old. Very cranky.
Come here.
But yeah, no, we do have to be really conscious of our language. And I don't mean that as
we don't mean effing and jeffing.
No, because effing and jeffing is fine.
You can eff and jeff as much as you like, to be honest.
But, yeah.
But like you say, I don't think it's not things we think about.
We don't. It just comes out of our mouth, doesn't it? We don't actually think about the things that we're actually saying.
And the impact it has.
Yeah, big time.
I don't think you think about the impacts of I don't think you think about them, what they have, that effect they have on other people, or the effect that it has on you when you repeat the same thing again and again to yourself. But like you say, in that blasé fashion.
Yeah.
But it's still having that impact.
Oh, huge impact. Look back at me.
Huge.
Huge. But it is huge.
But it is, isn't it? And it becomes that self-fulfilling prophecy. Because when you say that to yourself or out there all the time.
Well, you start to believe it, don't you?
But it is. It's that. So it's that part of your brain, you RAS, you're reticular articulate.
Don't ask me to say it.
I give up. Look up the word
system.
RAS. But because that's what you're saying, that's what your brain will show you.
Yeah.
So therefore you think, well, this is always happening to me because your brain is showing you that.
It will find ways that it does always
happen. And then you say, I always see it. So then it will always show it to you. So it is that self-fulfilling prophecy.
Absolutely.
You say those words, that goes out there, and then that's what your brain will show you.
I think a good way of almost is saying that as well is like when you read something, you read it as you think it is, don't you?
Gosh, yes.
We often read things, but it doesn't actually say that in words.
No, I'm a bugger for doing that.
But we think that's what we're seeing and what we're reading.
I am, because
believe it.
Because don't you? It just randomly. I will think something, and I will think that that's what I've typed in a message.
Oh yeah.
And then she replies, she's going, I just get a series of question marks, and I think, fuck, I need to go back and see what I've written. Because in my head,
you're hilarious for that.
In my head, I've written it, and I don't look.
And you don't go back and check.
No.
Just writes it, and off she goes on the next one. Jolly on. And I'm like,
it's funny. Details have come up for me a lot the last couple of weeks. Lack of looking at.
That's because you're writing it, but your brain is like on the next 10 sentences down.
Yeah, so that's it, isn't it? So then, and you miss words, but I think I've typed those words because in my head I've said those words.
Yeah. Yeah,
and it makes no sense.
I know. We're funny on packages, aren't we?
We are, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah. But it's like, it's what they call that. See, this is another thing. It's what they call that vicious circle. Why do we call it a vicious circle? Where did that come from?
I don't know, but perhaps because it feels vicious.
Yeah.
Because it goes round and round and round and round and round and round.
It's funny how we do use language. It does make me laugh. I can't remember what I was going to say now. Why was I saying that? Oh, it's a vicious circle.
Yeah.
It's a vicious circle of what we do, believe, and think.
Yes.
So the words we use, the language we use, and then even like you were saying, the things we write down, and then the things we and it all becomes one big package together.
Yeah.
It's like all in the stew, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which then all makes up this crazy world in our heads, really.
Yeah.
And we don't realise, unless you're doing the work, we don't really sit and think of the impact that those words, those stories, that language has on us.
No.
And then, because they have an effect on us, that then reflects out to other people, what we think about other people, what people are watching, like we were saying with kids. So this is what I mean by the vicious circle.
Yeah, it is though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we forget that the language we use when talking to out loud or to other people is a reflection of how we're feeling inside.
Oh, I know, that's such a biggie.
But we don't ever think of that.
No. So next time when you're pissed off with somebody, just think about what that is in you that pisses you off. Because we got so look in the mirror.
But that's it, isn't it? Like you say, again, it's that reflection. Again, it's that, I'm using that language, but actually what's that saying about what's that saying about me and where I'm at with that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's a lot of reflecting to do.
Yes, there is.
And I think reflecting is a hard thing to do sometimes.
It's very hard.
It's not something we're taught, is it?
No.
To do generally.
No. And I think it's harder these days because we are more of a blame society as well. So we're almost on a default, oh, well, you made me feel like that.
Yeah.
Actually, no, because you can't make me feel anything, really. It's our choice.
This is it, isn't it? But like you say,
it's when somebody says something to you or does something, it depends where you're sat, like you were saying, it depends where you're sat in your own feelings on then how you react to that. Because if you're in a really good place, you'll just think, oh, bless.
Yeah.
You're having a bad day.
Yeah.
You won't even take that on a personal level because you'll see it's that other person that's in a niggly place.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong, some people do bad things.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm not saying people don't do bad things, and that's not a reflection of the other people when it's a really bad thing. But if it's just those sort of niggly things that we don't like or annoy us, that's the things that are reflections, aren't they?
Yeah. And then, that's it, isn't it? And like you say, when we say things about ourselves.
Oh God, yeah.
That's a reflection of what we're really feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is all a saturation as well of what's been programmed, what we've been led to believe from other people, because what we've seen, heard, the type of environments we're in. So, that saturates our beliefs, doesn't it?
Yeah, like you say, it has such an impact everywhere, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're complicated little beings.
We are. We are, aren't we, really?
Yeah, we are. Very.
But like you say, none of this is taught to little ones, is it?
No, see, and I just think we need to go back more, don't we, to those being a little people, just taking the world for what it is more.
Definitely.
We don't, as little mates, we don't tend to judge each other.
No. Nobody sees anything any different in anybody, do they?
No, we have these wonderful worlds in our head,
Yeah.
don't we?
That's it.
We can be anybody. We can do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you say, no toddlers judge other toddlers, do they? They just accept them for who they are, however they are, and just crack on and, play.
Yeah.
They're not bothered.
No. Yeah. Us big people got a lot to learn.
Honestly, I think we all ought to go back to play school.
Yeah, definitely. Be great.
I know. See, now I've got visions of play school in my head.
I never went to play school.
Not my play school, but the programme play school. Do you remember the
Oh yeah, I remember play school.
Around the round window and the square window.
Yeah, I do. Cool. What was their names?
So you had Floella Benjamin.
Actually, she's written a really good book.
About what?
Can't remember what it's called. I haven't read it.
She's an MP, isn't she? Or she's in the House of Lords.
Yeah. I watched a programme. She was talking about her book, and I did think, I must get that because it sounds. She's very interesting, actually.
Oh,
what was the guy on there called?
Brian Cant.
That's it.
I can't remember anybody else than those two.
That's not a good name, is it?
It's not, is it?
Brian Cant.
No.
Brian Cant to do that.
That's
Brian
not the word.
Cant if he wants to.
That's not what
No, I know that's not what you were thinking. But I'm not taking it to that level.
But you're true. But then saying that, to be honest, Brian Cant is better than half the other kids' programmes we've brought up with. So.
Yeah, we won't go down that one again.
No. See, that's the language we were
Yeah, see, that's why
subjected
that's
to.
why we're potty mouthed now. Absolutely.
Semen stains.
Love it.
See, this is what hope was there for us.
None whatsoever.
Now they teach toddlers 12th night on CBeebies.
Yeah, but they have some funny programmes as well, don't they?
Or have you ever watched In the Night Garden?
Yes, with the inky. Oh.
Ninky.
What's those little things that look like they look like? Remember we had clothes peg dolls.
Oh gosh, yeah.
They're got again with pink.
Oh, I don't know. Ninky Pinky Poops or something, aren't they?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's got no sense to it at all.
But then I don't think kids' programmes have. I think you've got to be a special kind of person.
Yeah, they're very strange these days.
Teletubbies have had babies.
Oh, what are they?
I don't know whether Tinky Winky personally gave birth.
It's very interesting.
But they're now babies in Teletubbies.
Oh,
yes.
See, I haven't watched kids' programmes for a long time.
Well, neither had I till now, and now I'm subjected to.
Now you've got a grandson.
I'm subjected
You'll
to
be in there.
CBeebies. Yes, but there you go. So, and on that note, we'll get you to go and watch Teletubbies.
Thanks.
Or like In the Night Garden with Inky Pinky Pook or whatever his name is.
Love it. Go back to the old Bagpuss days.
Oh, saggy. What was it? The saggy cloth?
Something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. I can never remember it. Professor Snaffle. Professor Yaffle.
I can't remember.
Was the wooden woodpecker.
See, my favourite,
Or
I
wooden
don't
owl.
know whether you remember, is the Wooden Tops.
Oh no, before my time.
Yeah, with Spot the Dog. Loved Spot the Dog.
Way before my time.
Yeah. The good old Bill and Ben days.
Right, before we go completely off on a tangent, we better sod off.
Yeah, I think we better now.
Have a good rest of your day, folks.
Bye.
Very much for listening to Chatting Bollocks and Bull with Lynn and Tracy.
If you would like to see or hear more of us, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or of course by subscribing to the podcast.
If you share this podcast with others, you will make two old birds very happy. And finally, if you want more bollocks and bull in your life,
and who wouldn't,
then sign up to our newsletter. The link is in the show notes.
That's all, folks.
Love ya!